We Are Wrestling. We Are Wrestling.
Don, D-O-N?
Dick, got it.
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling. How's everybody doing today?
What is going on, guys? Ben here, the Asian sensation, one of the other third of We Are Wrestling. I was gonna say 1/3 because Baby Huey over here was asleep for a little bit of time, but he hath woketh from his nappy poo. So we are back. So
Relax. You need the flute to wake me up.
Anyways, we got some good stuff for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed that little comedy bit. We have some exciting coverage that we're going to make and some good talks with the crew. What do we have on the plate today, Donnie?
We are going to be talking about the best GMs. But before we get into that, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications, videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. And this week we are going to be talking about some of the best GMs from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, you name it, we're going to be talking about it. So, how do you guys want to start this?
I don't know, but can I just say one thing? I feel like it's very fitting that today we're doing this episode when yesterday Triple H got put ahead of creative in WWE and Vince McMahon retired on Friday. So it's very fitting that we're doing this episode today. That's all I'm going to say.
The wheels are greasing. The future is bright for all WWE fans.
Absolutely.
Yes, which, by the way, if you guys have not checked out Hot Takes, Ben and I actually talked about the creative with, Triple H taking over. And, there's also an extra with Danny and I about the whole, Vince McMahon retiring.
Thing, man.
So it's all there if you guys want to check it out after the talk show. But let's start this off by some of our favorite GMs.
All right, so it's actually not. Let's start with our favorite GMs. Who do we want to start with? Because there is some notables out there that deserve some first one spotlight. What I really want to talk about is Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I was actually just going to mention Eric Bischoff.
That's my favorite GM, honestly.
Number one, Eric Bischoff. What do you guys want to talk about? What era do we want to talk about when it comes to Eric Bischoff?
I mean, Eric Bischoff came in at a weird time. Like, it was right after, I believe, it was right before Stone Cold Steve Austin, I believe, fully retired. And it was just like, it was like sort of like this transitional period. I really enjoyed him
Beginning
as GM.
of Ruthless Aggression era.
We had 3-minute warning, and then everybody assumed that he couldn't do his job properly, so they brought in Stone Cold Steve Austin to sort of have a partnership with him, and that was some of the most creative, funniest shit I've seen on pro wrestling in a long time.
And I honestly feel like that, again, with him partnering with Stone Cold, it taught him a lot of things, and it got him really comfortable within the role, and that I feel like that time period is what sprouted him into being the legendary GM that he is, especially the legendary of all heels.
Yeah,
he was one of the greatest heel GMs of all time.
And that's the thing. I think having Stone Cold, who was always a fan favorite, one of the the biggest heels but faces in the company, having him being by Eric Bischoff's side, it gave Eric Bischoff legitimate heat. Stone Cold was able to do his antics to Eric Bischoff, which would, make the crowd laugh. And there was just so many moments with Eric Bischoff that really stand out to me. I love the rivalry with Eric Bischoff and Eugene. When Eugene cut his hair.
Yes,
bro. Eugene was supposed to be his nephew. Yes, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. And it was all long-term booking because as soon as Eugene debuted, they had him debut as Eric Bischoff's nephew, and they let Eugene go out, do his thing, and then, William Regal had to watch Eugene for Eric Bischoff. which led eventually to a rivalry with Eugene and Eric Bischoff, which made great television.
Bro, remember when
Absolutely.
Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah, they would always like try to grind up on Eric Bischoff, and he'd be like, ew, ew, ew.
This dude just had a fucking spasm.
It was just,
Bischoff also carried through the SmackDown versus Raw era as well.
yeah.
That was a hellacious fucking period, and I was a huge fucking fan of that. Was for me the glory days of Raw as well.
I remember the rivalry between him and Stephanie McMahon when Stephanie McMahon was the GM of SmackDown.
Yes.
Wasn't that like his first GM rivalry? It was with Stephanie, right?
I believe so, yes.
Because his tenure as GM, I think, ended with Teddy Long.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Bro,
then
that
Vince
shows
had some words.
It shows how stressful WWE is, because he started out with fucking black hair and then he ended with white hair.
Well,
That's how it happened in WCW too. He started off with the black hair and then he ended with the gray hair. But
yeah,
here's
dude,
the
he's
thing.
been going gray for it early on, dude. He's been dyeing his hair for years.
Yeah. So when it comes down to it, the thing that really stood out, what I really liked about Eric Bischoff was, the match stipulations as well that he brought, like the Raw roulette wheel. That was also a really cool thing. He was the one to announce Elimination Chamber and these, stipulation type matches. But what I really liked was the way they debuted him, because nobody had any idea who Vince McMahon was talking about. And next thing you know, Eric Bischoff and Mr. McMahon are in like the same arena at the same time. Like, imagine being a WCW and like WWE fan and seeing that happen.
Yep. And I gotta admit, like, when I remember playing this day when Eric Bischoff first debuted, and Vince McMahon was like, I have somebody special that's gonna be running this show. Eric Bischoff comes out. I was a WWE kid for the most part. I didn't really watch WCW until years later, so I wasn't really aware of who Eric Bischoff was at that time.
Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff, man.
Eric Bischoff, WCW
Eric Bischoff.
Wrestling.
Yeah, boy. The wrestling.
But I don't know, just like I enjoyed Eric Bischoff quite a bit.
So much entertainment.
He was an asshole,
his wrestling gear too.
Yeah,
dude, honestly, like karate stuff.
You remember his debut clear as day? I remember where he literally got canned clear as day. Dude got thrown in the back of a fucking trash can and taken the fuck out like goddamn garbage, which is so funny. He was a special person when he debuted, and they literally escorted him out of the building in a fucking trash vehicle. I find that fucking hilarious. And
it was funny about that story behind it.
What's
like
up?
I watched something with Eric Bischoff, and like that's like what he wanted to be.
He wanted to go out in the trash. Oh,
he wanted to go out strong, and like the trash thing, like people still talk about it to this day. So that's how how genius Eric Bischoff really is.
Wasn't Vince McMahon in like a judge outfit as well? Wasn't he in like a judge gown or something?
Yeah,
like
because he was judging. Yes, because he was judging that Monday Night Raw. He was judging Eric Bischoff's performance the whole show.
Oh god!
Came out with a lunchbox with a fucking kid lunchbox, like he was a fucking like a lawyer or something.
I loved it because around the time John Cena was, a rival with Eric Bischoff, because Eric Bischoff wanted to take that championship off of Cena so he would have guys like Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, even Daivari try to take the title off of him.
I do want to bring up like some of the good pay-per-views we got with Eric Bischoff helming it. Like we got an interesting pay-per-view. I think one that's very underrated that a lot of people don't really talk about to this day. But one of my favorites of all time, and again, this is in like the SmackDown versus Raw era, is Taboo Tuesday 2005. That is one of the most underrated fucking pay-per-views of all time.
They only did that twice, and then they got rid of it, right?
And it became Cyber Sunday.
Yeah, because they did it in 2004. That's when they first debuted it.
Yep, but 2005 was unspeakably good. What's up?
They had Cyber Sunday where the fans could go on WWE Network or WWE.com and vote. So you didn't even know who was going to be teaming up with who. So that's what made it interesting, And I think if I recall correctly, a lot of that had to do with Eric Bischoff and like how they wanted to run the show and make it a little bit more interactive for fans. And I have to be thankful for Eric Bischoff, man, because again, that was a spectacular pay-per-view that is super underrated and had a great
match card through and through. Even the fucking opening match, which was the tag team match, I believe, with fucking Rey Mysterio and Matt Hardy versus Snitsky and fucking Chris Masters. Fucking awesome. We had Batista versus Vader and Goldust, like in replacement for fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin at the time, dude. And that was that was like a glory era that Eric Bischoff helped helm. And I just want to like point that out there. That is just, again, one of the golden Eric Bischoff ages for me as well.
Jeff Hardy, Eric Bischoff, I believe, also gave Jeff Hardy one of his rising moments against the Undertaker in a ladder match for the Undisputed Championship
Back in 2003, right?
2002. I believe that was Eric Bischoff.
That was also the match that like Undertaker like finally like gave like Jeff Hardy some serious respect for that match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like a huge moment for Jeff Hardy specifically. I think I remember an interview like that. But yeah, dude, fucking Eric Bischoff was just a great general manager, and he just happened to be at the right place at the right time for sports entertainment at the point, because he helped further it entirely. His
presentation was perfect.
He was like the Paul Heyman of that era that just helped preserve and further sports entertainment at the time. So he is a huge GM on this list.
Yep, and top baby faces.
He played a great asshole too
as well.
Mm-hmm.
He played a great asshole.
Do you remember his match with Teddy Long?
Is that Survivor Series when they wrestle each other?
Yes, I believe so. Ted fucking Eric Bischoff was in his fucking karate gear and shit.
I love the karate gear.
God, I fucking loved it, dude.
God. Like, it was I don't care. Like, that's my favorite GM of all time was Eric Bischoff.
Absolutely.
I see why, like, after I said, okay, let's talk about our favorite GMs, just said, well, let's get started with somebody. Eric Bischoff, the best one.
He's number one on the list, bro. He's number one on the list.
Remember when Eric Bischoff and Stone Cold Steve Austin had that beer and hot dog eating contest, and Eric Bischoff threw up all over the ring?
Yeah.
There's so many funny moments from, like, Stone Cold and Bischoff that, like, we could have a whole episode on, honestly.
Absolutely.
Remember when I can't remember like the scenario or what show it was, but I remember somebody challenging Eric Bischoff to a match, and Eric Bischoff thinking that it's somebody else, and it ended up being Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can't remember who he thought he was gonna be, but he was all like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win this match," like going out to the ring, and then you hear just fucking the glass shatter, and fucking Austin comes out, fucking gives him a couple stunners and wins.
Yo, Stone Cold was so entertaining at this time, and a lot of people don't talk about that because of, you know, his great run in the Attitude Era. A lot of people forget that.
Remember when he gave Christian the name the creepy little bastard?
Yes.
Even Stone Cold was a really good GM for like the little time he was doing it.
Bro, not gonna lie, man. Like
GM, it was absolute gold.
Like if I'm sitting down watching TV, sometimes I'll just throw on like greatest like Austin like promos or Austin segments or whatever. They're all fucking entertaining as shit, man. I love like I said, I love the pairing between him and Eric Bischoff. You know.
And when you got chemistry like that, really like you have to just keep going until those wheels fall off.
Yeah, chemistry is everything when it comes to sports entertainment. And when you find a perfect pair, it is like finding a diamond in the rough. It is an immaculate feeling, and the turnout is amazing.
And then you have, you had the segment on Monday Night Raw. The previous night, I think it was the Vengeance pay-per-view, and Eric Bischoff and Stone Cold were up in the skybox or whatever, and they were, you know, drinking. And Eric Bischoff was at Raw hungover, and Austin spent the entire fucking show making him even more sick. Bro, it was fucking hilarious.
No, here's something that I do need to definitely bring up before we move on to the next GM. Remember, like, the very beginning intro of WWE? Instead of the WWE logo, it would be Eric Bischoff's face.
Yeah. That was funny.
Excuse me.
And his entrance song was really catchy, too. I'm back!
And I'm better than
ever.
Yeah, man.
Just a maniac!
I'm making this better.
All right, so who's next? I think we should
talk about
and
I quote,
there's so much we could talk about Eric Bischoff, though. Like I said, he brought in 3-minute warning Jamal and Rosie, who went on to be Umaga. And what?
Real quick, hold on a minute. You talk about 3-minute warning so much. All right,
He's
I
a
want to know
fanboy. He's a fanboy.
what's the hype behind 3-minute warning? I want to know.
It's a
Because
sex
didn't
Nintendo.
they go on like a run for only like 2 months and then they fucking cut them and sent them back to open?
No, it was longer than that because they debuted in like
Did they win tag team titles?
I don't know.
The only big match that I can remember from them was Survivor Series 2002.
I'm sick.
That was like the only match that really stands.
Call an ambulance.
Billy Gunn's wedding.
Call an ambulance.
But what I'm saying is,
3-minute warning was only on for 3 minutes.
I'm sick.
3 minutes for 3 months. That is such an accomplishment.
Call an ambulance. I'm having a heart attack.
Who had more TV time than 3-minute warning? Spirit Squad. Move on.
I can't even hear you. That's
What?
being too loud.
Male cheerleaders had more TV time than 3-minute warning. We need to move
No,
on.
but what I'm talking about is they started out as 3-minute warning. Look who they became.
Even Big Dick Johnson had more TV time than 3-minute warning. Yes, who they became. Absolutely. We had Rosie, who was fucking... We had Rosie, who was literally the Hamburglar's freaking side partner, Hurricane. And then we had Umaga, who was wonderful.
This man needs some prime.
No, you've been talking about 3-minute warning for too much. I had to put that out there. I'm sorry, Danny. I know I have tag teams that I love. Like last week, I was talking about how much I love Total Divas, and he was calling me a mark.
Oh, call him
Like,
fucking
it's okay. We all have our weird things. Let's get back to
I know
our
what's
GM.
hilarious.
Huh?
You know, I know what's hilarious.
What's hilarious?
I'm not even a fan of 3-minute warning.
You're not a 3-minute. You talk about them all the time.
But what I'm being
Ladies and
referential.
gentlemen.
I'm being referential. I mean, they came in as 3-minute warning. They demolished everybody. They got repackaged. Look who the fuck we got. We got Rosie and we got
Look at
fucking
you using
Umaga.
your rich
And people
vocabulary
still,
because you got your glasses on.
people still talk about Umaga to this day, man.
Well, according to my thesaurus, you always be talking about 3-minute warning like they the best freaking trios group.
I'm not even a fan of them. I like how you know they demolished everybody. But I love the feud that they had with Bubba Ray Dudley.
Of course you did. Of course. All right, guys. We'll be right back. We're going to definitely put a little commercial break here because we need to get our composure back. And we'll be back with more We Are Wrestling.
Oh shit! I'm fucking crying! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! Oh my god!
Danny is such a mark.
Why is this so hard to keep composure right now? It is so fucking hard. What the fuck?
All I did was just call him out on his 3-minute warning obsession.
I just hope you know that anybody that fucking sees this is going to cry just for how much you are just going in on this man for being a 3-minute warning mark, and I am just deceased the entire fucking time. Honestly,
well,
do
here's
not
the thing.
cut any of that.
I won't cut any of it. But you see here, like I went off on him for literally 3 minutes. That's the best part about it.
Oh my god.
And then he started using rich vocabulary, so then I had to take the glasses out.
Oh my god. How are you gonna mark the fuck out about 3-minute warning and then come out candidly and say that you're not even a fan? I need to know.
Because I'm referencing them. They started out as 3-minute warning, then they went on to be Rosie and Umaga. Umaga was fucking.
Yes,
That
Umaga
dude is definitely gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Look, I get it. Umaga
Absolutely.
is great, but what's the obsession with Rosie?
Because if
All
it
he was
wasn't,
the freaking Hamburglar sidekick.
I'm talking more so. I'm leaning more towards Umaga. There would be no Umaga. There'd be no Rosie. There'd be none of that if it wasn't for 3-minute warning.
That's
So
Roman's brother, right? Rosie?
Yeah,
No,
both
you're
of them
absolutely
are.
right
So
with that.
you have to reference them.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's get back into the GMs now. I say we definitely should talk about Teddy Long.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Player, holla, holla!
Holla!
Yeah, wasn't his theme song somebody else's theme song at first before fucking Theodore Long debuted?
No, because
You
he used
better-
to come out. He used to come out to that with his group. He had Mark Henry and what was it? Sheldon
Rodney Mack.
Rodney Mack.
Oh, Jesus
Bro,
Lord.
You know what's
Voice
crazy?
clip of him. You better find a voice clip of him doing that and fucking put it in this episode somewhere.
I will
Holla,
definitely do
holla,
that.
holla, holla.
No, but you know what's crazy about Teddy Long that like we need to definitely first talk about before we go
Absolutely.
into his
Let's
accolades
go.
and Hall of Fame career. He started
What's up?
off as a fucking referee.
I
Mhm.
know, bro.
Isn't
That's
that
nuts to think
crazy?
about.
Yeah,
You
he was
go
a
from a
referee for a
referee
long
to the
time.
general manager of Friday Night SmackDown.
That's fucking nuts, dude. Like, that is absolutely fucking nuts. And the fucking persona he gave and just the energy and any promo, any fucking live, audience, he gave 1000%. And even to this day, if he were to be on TV, he would still be doing his little fucking dance that he'd be doing. And that was one of my favorite things about Teddy Long is just that he was naturally a captivating dude and he was never like a heel by any means. Like, he was always like,
No, he was a heel when he had Mark Henry and Rodney
Yeah.
Mack, but as a GM,
100.
he was always a face.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. He was always a face, and we got a lot of good matches through Teddy Long as well. Like, for example,
Matches.
dude. For example,
you forgot to add something to the matches.
What?
Tag team main event.
Yeah.
Team matches.
How
Holla,
fucking-
holla, holla.
yeah, dude, and I'm gonna give it to you, dude. This is actually one of the ones I want to. What?
Let me tell you something, player. That's what he used to say.
Let me tell you something, player. So, one of my favorite matches that he ever fucking put on was for Armageddon 2006, I believe, was the Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the WWE Tag Team titles. And he really allowed the winners of that match to shine, and there was some good fucking talent in that match. You had William Regal, which is already enough to sweep the fucking mat. And then you had the Hardys. You had Eminem, who were just newly reformed after fucking December to Dismember of that same year with ECW's Revival. There was just nothing but brutality in that match. And to add fucking the Hardys and Eminem to the mix when it was supposed to be just a regular fucking a tag team match between William Regal and Dave Taylor is incredible.
Yeah, people can say all they want about, how Teddy Long was obsessed with tag team wrestling and this and that. But seeing the state that the tag division is today, bro, I would give anything to go back to those times, man.
Because
Yeah,
tag
no,
team
I
division
agree.
is some of the fucking great. You get some of the greatest matches out of tag team division and some of the greatest highlights of the business.
But here's the thing: why it works so well for Teddy Long, because what he was a face GM, so his job for SmackDown, when you watched it as a viewer, he wanted to give you a fun main event, and that is what he always did. Like, one of them that really stand out to me was a Friday Night SmackDown that I was at in Springfield. It was for the WWE Tag Team Championships. It was Eminem versus Batista and Rey Mysterio. A fun main event, and we got new freaking tag team champions with Rey and Batista.
And he was a
Teddy
dual
Long-
champion at that point too, because Batista was world champion at that point.
Exactly, but here's the thing: with Teddy Long being putting these fun matches, that was his job as a face general manager, was to give us viewers a fun main event to look forward to. While Eric Bischoff on the other brand would try to put John Cena in a match against friggin' Kurt Angle or something. Because he hated John Cena and he hated the fans.
Absolutely.
But it worked because of storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember the time when there was enough teams to have a fucking 2-round 10-team battle royal? Do you remember that
Teddy
shit
Long's
on
favorite match ever.
Yeah.
That was
I
fucking
remember
incredible.
vaguely. Yeah, I remember vaguely.
That was
but I
fucking
remember
incredible.
Absolutely, bro.
And
Teddy Long was one of the best to do it for sure, especially one of the best on the mic in general. And he was another hand in shaping the ruthless aggression era as well.
Oh, absolutely. Here's something too I want to definitely talk about with Teddy Long. I met
He led
him
the
in
fifth
2000.
SmackDown.
I met him in 2009, actually, at the Melanie
Of
tent
course you did, you
in Cape
fucking
Cod.
asshole.
This was I did what you guys did at the WWE live event in 2019.
And you waited.
I actually waited for people to arrive, and Teddy Long was one of the guys that came up, took a picture with me, and
Good shit, man.
he was talking about how he didn't know how to use the internet because I was trying to advertise, my backyard wrestling to him. And he
Hey.
did not. He had no idea how to use the internet, and his wife does it for him. Not
Uh,
anymore, I bet, but before that's how he
yeah.
was.
That's fucking awesome, man. That's humble as shit. I love Teddy Long, 100%. I'm glad that, he had a huge tenure as GM, and we've gotten some appearances from him since then. I think he actually made it into the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking referee to GM. That is historical, man. 100%.
Seriously.
That is historical.
I would say he's one of the most well-known referees just because of he went from referee to a GM to a Hall of Famer. I don't think there's been another referee that's been on
That's
that
an
kind of
accolade,
level
bro.
before.
No, there hasn't been, and that's again a super huge accolade, man. Huge accolade. So Vince must have really, put his faith in Teddy Long and really must have seen something for him to really do all of this.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I think he started off in WCW, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
Yeah, so now Danny, what's a GM that stands out to you?
I had Bischoff, Donnie had fucking Teddy Long. You get this one, boy.
You know what I kind of really enjoyed, and this is sort of on the newer side of things. Remember when every week there'd be a new celebrity GM?
Oh, with the laptop, the anonymous GM stuff.
No.
Oh.
Every week for a while, they would bring in celebrities to run the show for the night.
Host.
Raw guest host, yes.
That was
I remember
fun.
when Chris Angel was a fucking host. I remember when Freddie Prinze Jr. was a host and then became a producer.
Remember Bob Barker was a host?
That was my
remember.
favorite one. Out of everybody, Bob Barker was my favorite.
Fuck.
That was fun.
I just feel like because every week you had no idea what to expect. It was just bringing people in that weren't normally in the wrestling business outside of maybe Freddie Prinze because he worked with WWE back in the day.
And creative.
Apparently John Cena didn't like him. But with the celebrity guest host, GM, whatever you want to call it, I consider that they were guest hosts, but I consider them GMs. They were running the show pretty much, you know what I mean?
Very true.
But bringing people that weren't necessarily in the wrestling business into that world, you never knew what to expect, and that's some of the best stuff, I think.
It basically gave them access to almost making their own fantasy football team, and they were able to put on these matches and decide who went against who and for what stipulation. And that, honestly, as a celebrity, that's exciting as fuck. So honestly, I'm kind of jealous because I could have seen some of my favorite in-ring matches picked from my own hand to an extent, obviously, because there were storylines to follow, but to make the stipulations and run the show, do vignettes, do promos, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
didn't Seth Green wrestle?
Yes, he did with DX, I believe.
Yep, with DX. Then Madison Square Gardens, I think.
Fucking Chris Griffin.
That's Herbert the pervert, man.
That was really cool. That was so cool how they did that every week.
But I do want to talk about, and I quote, the anonymous laptop GM. What did you guys think of that shit?
Fucking hated it. I hated it.
I absolutely hated it. But did we ever get a resolution as to who was behind the laptop before Edge finally destroyed it?
It was Hornswoggle.
Fucking Hornswoggle. That's right, dude. That definitely explains as to why I don't remember. But Hornswoggle,
he was hiding underneath the ring, and apparently he had a little tablet.
He had a little fucking Amazon Kids Kindle. But honestly, you can blame Hornswoggle all you want, but we all know the real person behind that laptop, and it was fucking bad creative. That's exactly who the fuck it was. Bad creative. Thankfully, Edge smashed that shit.
No, but here's the one positive. I will say out of this laptop thing.
What, a payout from Michael Cole? Because that's all it was.
Heel Michael Cole.
Oh, that's the guy. I was going to say. Michael Cole was
That is
literally
the one thing
that
that
fucking
stood out to me.
box and put around it.
That was called the Cold Mind. I was a mark for Michael Cole at this time.
Oh, you guys,
I
my coal
loved it.
miners. My coal miners.
And he loved The Miz, hated Daniel Bryan. I fucking loved it. With
No, what
Michael Cole at that
what
time.
I can't stand though is the fact that that dude was so Bentley out of shape and he put on all this wrestling gear, but then he got absolutely shredded. Not like a few years back. I absolutely hate that. It's like, dude, if you're gonna do this angle and if you know about it,
I have just received an email from the Raw Anonymous
And I
Gmail.
quote,
You say the fucking Raw Anonymous Gmail. I mean, basically. I mean, you're not wrong.
around that time, there was no Gmail. It was Hotmail and AOL. And Yahoo.
So you're not fucking wrong at all. Yahoo.
Well, you know those weren't real emails, right? And one episode of Raw, you can see Michael Cole lifting the laptop up, and there's a piece of paper stuck to the screen.
That's
There's a
before
whole ass script.
that's before we had spoilers and stuff online for people to leak that stuff.
Yeah, and get flashy cell phones to get the quality of what the paper says. Now you can like fucking zoom in ×5, fucking noise the shit, and it'll say like your mom's a hoe on the other side, and it's like, damn, how'd you read that from 55 yards away?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Raw GM fucking anonymous laptop bullshit was absolutely horrid. Edge was the one that smashed it, yeah.
Thank God.
Like officially, he smashed it.
It was Austin, I think.
Whoever did it, they deserve a raise.
It. Austin rode over it with his 4-wheeler and then spilled beer on it.
I don't know, but whoever did that, good for them. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wasn't Vicky Guerrero GM as well on SmackDown for a little bit?
I can't wait to get into this.
Well,
Vicky Guerrero as a kid,
her husband
I
Edge.
couldn't stand when she used to go, "Excuse me!
Excuse me!
I could not stand it whatsoever. Vicky Guerrero, I could not stand, but looking back now, in my opinion, she was one of the best GMs of SmackDown.
Remember the love triangle that she had with Edge?
And Dolph Ziggler and fucking Big Show.
It was so fucking weird, bro. It was like everybody was fucking clapping them cheeks.
No, but when it came to Vicky Guerrero, the thing that stood out to me was Edge. When Edge and her had the relationship stuff, because Edge was the opportunist. He was the champion at the time, and Edge was using her.
Edge cheated on her with
so it worked out perfect.
Alicia Fox played like this, like fucking like wedding planner.
Has locked lips with a lot of females in the business. There's Vicky Guerrero, there's Lita, there's Alicia Fox, there's Beth Phoenix's actual wife.
He was married to Val Venus' sister.
He fucking was married to Val Venus' sister, and like he's even getting into family business. Damn, Edge. Rated R.
And now he's a father that plays dress.
A lot of the stuff that stood out to me was the whole Edge and Vicky stuff on SmackDown, because that gave Edge even more heat.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but when that storyline wrapped up, the fucking crowd big fucking popped. Everybody was ready for that shit to be over with. I was ready for that shit to be over with. And it was at their wedding too.
Nowadays is a good payoff, and that was a great payoff.
Yup. Fucking crashed that wedding last minute with that footage. I was like, yes.
That's the only time that I actually liked Alicia Fox.
I forgot.
I never really enjoyed her work that much.
That was her debut, wasn't it?
That was.
Yeah, she played like a wedding planner.
A wedding planner. Yes, I do remember that. Just like Jillian Michaels was originally JBL's fucking like manager or some shit.
Jillian Michaels, man. That fucking alien thing on her face kept growing every single fucking week. I'm like, bro, it's gonna take over her soul.
That hairline of yours receding every week.
I know,
do you remember,
bro.
Do you remember when fucking Boogeyman ripped that shit off her face and then ate it?
Mm-hmm.
I will not put that clip in this episode.
Yeah, no, dude, that shit was fucking cockadoodie, 100%.
Here on the We Are Wrestling channel.
Nah, we got a good thing going here. But yeah, no, Vicki Guerrero, looking back at it, was definitely one of the best ones to do it, especially not only again on the mic, because in order to really sell a character and really, have the crowd compelled, you have to have that energy. And for just to start out as, a legend's wife and not really like being a part of like the business per se, I
Yeah.
will give it to Vicki Guerrero for what she's done work-wise was phenomenal. She does have crowd engagement because we legitimately got pissed off as children. We got fucking livid every time she was on screen, and that was her job. And she got
did it.
paid big. Dude, and we had some good shit around that time too. So,
something?
I can't blame her.
I want to give some time. Like, I really want to take the time right now and give WWE some respect for after what happened with Eddie Guerrero, her husband, for them to be looking out for her and stuff and like giving her,
Absolutely.
this opportunity and stuff and like, looking out for her after Eddie, like for WWE, like they always are such a class act for the most part when it comes to that. And like, it's great to see what they, did for Vicki.
Except when Vince, involves Vince's money and his wiener.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm in accordance on that shit. $14.6 million. That is fucking incredible. Like, that is the most expensive blowjob I think I've ever heard of in my entire life. $14.6 million. Jesus Christ, Vinny. What?
One thing that I do want to say about Vicki Guerrero is you guys are probably, in accordance with it. I kind of miss, we missed the opportunity of being able to pair her and Eddie up in like some kind of like heel role. You know what I mean? Imagine her being in the manager of Eddie Guerrero, bro. And Eddie Guerrero being this like heel thinking he's better than everybody else. And he has this cocky attitude because everybody loves the great Eddie Guerrero. That would have been fucking great.
Here's one thing I want to definitely talk about that really stands out to me about Vicki. Then we could definitely move on. The segment with her and The Rock. You look horrible tonight. One of the best rock concerts ever.
She was fucking livid. What's up?
What about John Cena and the King making fun of how fat Vicki Guerrero is?
She wasn't even fat, though.
No.
That has to be one of the best segments I've ever seen in my life, though. It was fucking
that?
hilarious.
I can't stand that. When it comes to like a movie or show, right? They freaking say like the kid's fat and stuff, but the kid's not even fat.
Yeah.
That shit's annoying.
That grinds Donnie's gears, guys. Ladies and gents, first exclusive look. It grinds his gears. I do want to talk about Stephanie McMahon as GM.
Ooh, Friday nights, or well, not Friday night.
I love how
SmackDown.
I love
Thursday
how
night SmackDown.
I love how we saved all the women for last, pretty much.
All right. Well, since Danny wants to throw out the shade, why don't you start the conversation with Stephanie McMahon as GM, Danny?
I remember the fucking episode of SmackDown where she allowed John Cena to tap her on the ass.
I do remember that, dude. I do remember that. Do you remember also when she fucking thirst trapped everybody and they had that zoom in on her fucking backside and shit? I'm like, okay. Like, that was fucking, like, we're going to...
Didn't she have, like, a rivalry with, like, Stacey, or no, not Stacey Cable, or it was, what's her name?
It was, no, the fucking chick that's, Sable. It was...
Sable, yeah.
Brock Lesnar's wife.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's wife.
I also remember fucking Brian Kendrick running all through fucking corporate and running into her butt naked. He was butt naked, not Stephanie McMahon.
Spanky.
Looking back at it now and all that footage, like, it really like makes me understand the whole like Brian Kendrick fucking conspiracy shit. Like, that it definitely does make me understand.
I don't know why, but when it came to Stephanie running SmackDown, I didn't enjoy it that much. I didn't either.
There were just memorable moments.
Her authority stuff that she did with Triple H with that.
I will say. Stephanie, when Stephanie first came on as GM, it was very stale, very like it just didn't really do anything for me. And then we started to pick up with the whole Stephanie McMahon and Eric Bischoff feud. And remember when Triple H came back and it was like a toss up between whether he was going to sign with Eric Bischoff or Stephanie McMahon. And he was like, I'd rather sign with the beast I know than the beast I don't know. and then he fucking gave Eric Bischoff a pedigree after he signed the SmackDown contract. Remember that?
Yeah. So now another GM I definitely want to talk about a little bit. He was a GM in 2004 before Teddy Long took his spot. Kurt Angle.
For whatever reason, I have no recollection of him ever being GM except for this last run that he was on.
He had he was in the wheelchair because he was injured at the time, and then they had Luther Reigns.
Nope.
I remember Luther Reigns. I remember Luther Reigns, Mark Jindrak a little bit, but
I do too. But I don't remember.
I don't remember Kurt Angle was GM.
Dude, I don't remember that era. Only the fucking 2018 era.
Yeah. So let's talk about the current Raw GM and SmackDown GM, Adam Pearce. What's your guys' thoughts on him?
I know that me and Dan are going to have some conflicting views, but I will let Dan take the reins first because I would rather you guys have the bad news before the good news.
I don't mind it. I actually like him quite a bit.
Damn, you were not saying that at first.
I hated Sonya Deville, and I love how, Adam Pearce, he tries to feel like he does what's right. You know what I mean?
Yes,
he doesn't.
Absolutely. He plays a good, gray area type of GM. Absolutely. What I want to say that I do love about Adam Pearce is not only is he genuinely trying, his hardest at his job, like we all see every day. Dude busts his ass. He's a workhorse. He's had some good angles so far. What I love the most about Adam Pearce is that he knows this business 100%. He is an NWA veteran. And for a lot of you guys that may or may not know, is that Adam Pearce was originally a wrestler. Has held multiple championships but is retired now, unfortunately. But his influence in WWE as of late and running things as the GM, I think it's great. I love Adam Pearce. I love his message. I love. I think it was work hard, do something, and earn respect. I forgot what the whole saying is, and I just like how much of a positive influence Adam Pearce is. So honestly, I gotta say that I'm an Adam Pearce fan, 100%. I don't really say this often, and it's a very small thing to most people. But if I ever was at a WWE live event and if I ever saw Adam Pearce walk by me, I would ask if he would stop for a picture. 100.
Well, obviously, he's a great wrestler.
Dude. I respect Adam Pearce. I am an Adam Pearce fan. So the fact that he does have some kind of authority in WWE makes me absolutely happy. Especially, because he bleeds this industry through and through, and I can't not respect somebody that is running things in the way that he thinks is not only right, but again bleeds the company, and that automatically is fan worthy.
I will say I wouldn't necessarily call myself a fan of him for the simple fact that I don't feel like I see him enough on TV to really come to that determination. But I don't hate him, so I mean, it's that little. I'm sort of in that gray area. You know what I mean?
I can't stand him as the GM. I respect him and what he's done for this business, but as a GM, I'm sorry, there's been nothing that's been memorable. There hasn't been really anything that has really stood out to me with him. It's just a generic guy just, doing what's right. Great wrestler, though. Absolutely great wrestler in NWA.
I've never seen any of his wrestling, so.
Such a great wrestler.
Take a look, bro. You should
great
definitely
mind
take
for the
Scrap
business.
Daddy, bro.
You
Scrap
definitely
Daddy,
got to do
man.
your search. But
Absolutely.
as a authority figure in WWE, I personally don't like it as much. He's better than Sonya Deville Sonya Deville should have never been in that position whatsoever. We all can agree on that. But when it comes to Adam Pearce, I just don't. There's nothing memorable. What has he done since he's been GM? What has he done storyline wise?
Couple things.
Something that really stands out.
Couple things.
Give me something.
Referring to Adam Pearce, now that, again, there is a new head of creative, expect some differences. He will be in front of camera
Hopefully
a lot more.
Hopefully a new GM.
No, even as his role. I'm just saying, expect some changes to be made over the time. 2, against unpopular opinion, I genuinely liked Sonya Deville in authority for the sake of the storyline of her abusing it. because it worked. And I genuinely enjoyed the rivalry she was building with Naomi. I genuinely enjoyed it. I loved her work.
I genuinely hated her.
That's good fucking storytelling.
No, but that's like
she's
why.
not just
But
in
here's
real
the
life.
thing. But that's why I give Sonya Deville credit for the role that she played, because she did it to the best of her ability.
Yeah.
Did I personally like it? No.
Yeah.
But she did do her job, and she did get over to now being a regular on the roster on main event.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I know, obviously we all know that, you know, in kayfabe, she'd never really ever had actual authority. 100%. It was just a role she was playing. But she killed it. I loved it. I love the bad decision making. I love that she genuinely made you hate her. And it's good storytelling. So honestly, I have to say, you know, as much as I hated it, I'm a fan of what it accomplished. 100%. I'm a fan of the turnout. I loved the feud between her and Naomi, and I'm not even a quote unquote a Naomi fan by any means. I do respect Naomi's in-ring ability, but I loved that feud because it made me love both angles and both sides. So I got to give it to Sonya Deville, in unpopular opinion. But again, I didn't want to drift too far off, but I wanted to just kind of, if we're talking authority, I did like Sonya Deville in the GM role as well for that simple reason of that feud.
Well, why has she done something with the feud and did something that's eye-appealing, but Adam Pearce hasn't?
Exactly.
That's not helping the case whatsoever.
No, but again, you know, with new creative and obviously one with great accolades, hence NXT Gold brand. I
will say, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ben. I will say, I feel everything that goes on regarding the position that the GM is in, it's not fully up to them. And so it's very hard to judge what they do on TV as opposed to what they don't, because they're not the ones that write the shows.
Well, I'm not blaming Adam Pearce at all for like his role. It's creative. With all these GMs, it's always creative because they're the ones that, you know, give them the roles. And I'm sorry, but they never really introduced Adam Pearce in like a way that they did with Eric Bischoff and Teddy Long and Vicky Guerrero.
Just kind of gradually he kind of gradually was put into the position.
And that there is my problem, because for me, everything has to make sense. I call AEW out on this all the time, and I'm gonna do it to WWE as well.
Of course, you gotta hold accountability where it's due,
bro. With everything that's going on in WWE over the last couple of months, nothing. Very, very, very little in that fucking company makes sense.
No,
but it's going to. Things will fall into place.
Yes, because we got the game. The cerebral assassin, man.
So good seeing a photo of him in front of the fucking arena just chilling.
Do the thing with your prime like Triple H would do.
What?
I drank
it. Do it for the Maniacs.
I drank it all, bitch.
Don't make him spit shit all over his computer, man.
Come on, that was what I wanted him to do.
Don't make him spill shit all over his computer, man. He's already twitching.
So, is there any other GMs or anything else you guys want to talk about before we close this week's episode off?
Nah, I think I've covered every GM that's noteworthy of speaking upon. So
yeah, bro. I mean, it was a short episode, shorter than our usual episodes, but nonetheless,
I do got one more thing, a quick one.
What up?
WWE always does on-roll authorities. Do you think AEW should have a GM?
I think all brands should have a GM. Tony can't do all of it by himself, clearly. So maybe with guidance and some other authority figures helping manage those brands and those shows, I feel like it would help a lot more, take the load off of him, and help organize a lot more, especially in terms of their talent.
You know what I would do? If you hire a GM for whether it's WWE, AEW, whatever it is, I would legitimately make them a GM. Allow them to book the shows. Allow them to
have creative control.
No, here's the thing.
To make the GM more authentic.
Yes.
I get that, but at the end of the day, let's be honest. The one that's running the company is always going to be the one to be,
He just gives you the green light. But I feel as if, the GM should have sole authority over those shows to again help with the fucking mess that
Well, I think-
unfortunately AEW is.
I think that AEW, that would, complete a lot of puzzle pieces if they
I don't
actually
feel like-
had an on-roll authority. Like, if Tony Khan doesn't want to be on TV, why doesn't he get, like, a legend or something to be that on-roll authority? Because that would
There you
bring
go.
some entertainment, because I'm sick of these backstage segments and then these wrestlers go, I'm going to wrestle you on Rampage. Who fucking is the authority here to make this happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I again, legend or not, I would like them to be a full-on, full-fledged, like, in-role position.
Imagine we see fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin fucking show up on Dynamite one day and be like,
Won't
I'm the
happen.
new GM.
Never happen.
Probably more
Please don't
likely
say
not.
that.
It would just be fucking hilarious.
But yeah, let us know in the comment section below who your favorite GM was or is throughout the years in WWE. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, I know it's a little bit shorter than it usually is, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. All the links are down in the description below. You can go follow our Twitches, YouTubes, Instagrams, Twitters, all that is all down below. And no one wants to see your nipple, Danny. And of course, all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.